Hey, basketball fans, welcome back to Tips and Streams, your go-to spot for the hottest NBA regular season predictions. I'm Kokan, and I'm here to break down today's matchups and give you the edge you need to make the best bets. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support means the world to us. Remember, our channel has no sponsors and relies solely on the love and support of viewers like you. Even a small donation by pressing the thanks button under the video helps us keep bringing you top-notch content every day. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and fellow basketball enthusiasts. And we love hearing from you, so drop a comment below and let us know what you want to see in our forecasts. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you the content you crave. Let's jump right into today's NBA predictions. We've got some exciting games lined up, so stay tuned and let's get that winning streak going.
Today we have predictions for 5 NBA games. The first prediction for today is for a game between the Oklahoma City Thunder and Cleveland Cavaliers. This matchup between the Thunder and the Cavs has all the makings of a classic showdown. I'm hyped for this one, and honestly, how could you not be? These are two of the hottest squads in the league right now, and it feels like we're in for a heavyweight slugfest. OKC is rolling into Cleveland with some serious momentum, and their defense? Absolutely lights out. They're locking teams down like it's their day job, giving up just 103 points per game, the best in the league. They've also got opponents shooting bricks all season, holding them to a league-low 42.6% from the field and a stone-cold 32.7% from deep. When it comes to defense, the Thunder just don't give an inch. Now, don't sleep on OKC's offense, though. While their calling card is stopping buckets, they've got some firepower, too. They're dropping 115.1 points a night and ranking 11th in field goal percentage. But here's the kicker. When the Thunder hit 110 points, they're nearly unbeatable at 17-4. And a big reason for that is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's been straight up scorching. The man's averaging 31.3 points on over 52% shooting, and he's been torching defenses in recent games, dropping 35, 40, and 33 in his last few outings. If SGA keeps cooking like this, it could be trouble for the Cavs. On the flip side, Cleveland's got their own arsenal, and it's one of the most lethal in the league. They're putting up 122.5 points per game and shooting a ridiculous 50% from the field. From beyond the arc? Forget about it. They're knocking down threes at a league-best 40.4%. This team knows how to fill it up, and when they're clicking, good luck keeping pace. Plus, they've been on a tear during their 10-game win streak, averaging 125.2 points and shooting the lights out at nearly 50% from the field. When the Cavs hit 115 points, they're almost automatic, sitting at 25-2 on the season. That's no joke. The last time these teams met was way back in November of 2023, with OKC taking that 128-120. A lot has changed since then, but one thing's for sure, both these squads have leveled up big time. The Cavs have the better overall record at 30-4, but OKC's 30-6 isn't far behind. These are two teams that know how to win, and it's tough to pick a side when both are this good. For me, though, I'm leaning toward the Thunder in this one. Their defense is just too good to ignore, and I think they've got what it takes to slow down Cleveland's high-octane offense. The Cavs rely heavily on their three-point shooting, and OKC is the best in the league at shutting that down. Add in the Thunder's ability to force turnovers and limit wasted possessions, and I think they'll have the upper hand in the clutch moments. That said, this game is going to be tight. Both teams are playing at such a high level that it feels like a coin flip. I'm not taking the money line here, but with the Thunder getting +3, I'm happy to ride with them and take the points. This one's going down to the wire, but I trust OKC's defense to come up with the stops when it matters most. If you're backing Cleveland, I totally get it. They're an absolute juggernaut. But for my money, I think the Thunder are the best team in the league right now, and they'll prove it in Cleveland.
Welcome to BetUS, Sportsbook and Casino, your ultimate hub for secure and thrilling sports betting and casino gaming. BetUS is one of the oldest and most reliable online sportsbooks in the U.S., serving millions of clients all over the globe each month. BetUS, trusted for over 30 years, offers huge welcome bonuses, countless betting options, and many deposit and payout methods. Depositing funds is a breeze and safe, with a minimum deposit of just $10. Payouts are fast and hassle-free, beginning at only $50. Choose from various payout options like MoneyGram, couriered check, cryptocurrency, or bank wire. Signing up is quick and easy. For signing up, you can use the link in the description and enjoy a generous 125% welcome bonus of up to $3,000. By signing up using the link in the description, you'll also support us as we earn a small commission from your registration at BetUS. Thank you for supporting us. Join now and start winning.
The second prediction for today is for a game between the Chicago Bulls and Indiana Pacers. The Pacers and Bulls are gearing up for what should be a fascinating clash of styles, and I'm here for it. The Bulls, sitting at 17-19, just edged out the Spurs in a gritty 114-110 win. Zach LaVine was lights out, dropping 35 points, while Nikola Vucevic quietly did his thing with 24 points and another double-double. That's been Vooch all year, steady and reliable, which is more than you can say for the rest of the squad. Chicago's offense is solid, top 5 in scoring, but their defense? Let's just say it's been a turnstile. They're giving up 121 points a night, and that's not going to cut it against a team like the Pacers. The thing with the Bulls is they've got pieces, but they don't have that guy. LaVine's got all the talent in the world, but he's more about getting buckets than leading a team. Meanwhile, Vucevic feels like the glue holding it all together, consistently posting double-doubles, and even passing MJ for most in franchise history. That's impressive, but this team still can't seem to get over the hump. They've beaten big names like the Bucks, Celtics, and Knicks recently, so you know they've got to fight. But then you see games like the blowout loss to the Wizards, and it's back to wondering what's really going on in Chicago. On the flip side, you've got the Pacers, a team that's been cooking offensively. They just smacked the Nets 113-99, and they're rolling with a 19-18 record. Tyrese Haliburton is the engine for the squad, one of the league's best playmakers, and when he's on, this team can hang with anyone. Haliburton and Benedict Mathurin were in sync last game, combining for 43 points. Indiana's got a fast-paced, modern style that makes them a nightmare to defend. They're 9th in offensive efficiency, and when they're clicking, they can light up the scoreboard in a hurry. But their defense? Yeah, not great. They're giving up almost as much as they score, which is why their record isn't better. What makes this matchup interesting is how these teams line up against each other. The Bulls have the edge in rebounding, which could hurt the Pacers, who've been pretty shaky at cleaning up the glass. On the other hand, the Pacers' depth and pace could wear down a Chicago team that's thin on defensive stoppers. There's also the injury factor. Haliburton is questionable, and if he's out, Indiana's offense won't be the same. Chicago's missing Torrey Craig and still waiting on Ayo Dosunmu to return, so they're not exactly at full strength either. Looking at recent history, the Pacers have had their struggles against the Bulls, especially at home. They've only won 2 of their last 5 meetings in Indiana, and those wins weren't by much. But the Pacers are on a roll right now, riding a 3-game win streak and playing with confidence. Chicago, for all their flaws, tends to show up on the road, with a 10-8 away record that includes some quality wins. That makes this game a tough one to call. Personally, I think the Pacers have the edge overall. They've got more firepower and a roster that feels more cohesive. Still, Chicago has a way of keeping games close, even against better teams. I expect Indiana to come out on top, but I will place my bets on the Bulls to keep it tight and cover that 6.5-point spread. This one should go down to the wire, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. Before we move on, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing might seem like a small action, but it actually makes a big impact for us. Plus, it's completely free for you. Have you clicked that subscribe button? Awesome, thank you so much for your support. Now let's dive back into the video.
The third prediction for today is for a game between the Toronto Raptors and New York Knicks. The Toronto Raptors are heading into Madison Square Garden, and let's keep it real, they've had a rough go this season. Just one road win in 16 tries and a brutal 8-28 record overall tells you all you need to know. Their offense has been ice cold, sitting dead last in 3-point shooting, and their defense isn't doing them any favors either, ranking near the league's basement in almost every key stat. The only thing keeping them somewhat afloat is their relentless work on the glass, especially on the offensive boards, but even that hustle won't cut it if they can't bring more firepower against the Knicks. Lately, Toronto's struggles have been impossible to ignore. Sure, Scotty Barnes is back in the mix, and they've added RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly, but the team's dropped 8 of their last 10 games and covered the spread in just 2 of those. Their last outing against Milwaukee was an outright disaster, a 14-point blowout that highlighted their flaws. Head coach Darko Rajakovic seems to be leaning into a rebuild, focusing on developing the young core over chasing wins. But let's face it, they're missing that cornerstone player who can steady the ship and deliver night in and night out. On the flip side, the Knicks are coming off a red-hot December, but have cooled down considerably, dropping 3 straight games. Even with a solid 24-13 record, recent performances, like a tough loss to a short-handed Orlando squad, have raised questions.
Karl Anthony Towns has been a game changer for them this season, but his knee injury has left him day to day, and without him, New York loses a lot of its spacing and versatility. Jalen Brunson has been a steady hand, carving up defenses with his mid-range mastery, but even he can't do it all when the supporting cast isn't stepping up. When the Knicks are clicking, their offense hums, ranking among the league's best in points per possession. Their shooting and rebounding have been their bread and butter, but the defense has been suspect, leaving them exposed in fast-paced, high-scoring games. After those back-to-back letdowns against beatable teams, it's tough to have full confidence in them right now. These squads have already locked horns twice this season, with New York taking both matchups. The first game in Toronto was a nail-biter, but the Knicks flexed in the rematch at home, cruising to a double-digit win. Historically, these clashes tend to light up the scoreboard, with the total going over in 8 of their last 10 meetings. The odds makers have set the line at 230.5 points, and with the way both teams are trending, we could be in for another shootout. For me, the play here is the over at 230.5 points. The Knicks know how to put up points when their offense is humming, and even though the Raptors have their struggles, their dominance on the offensive glass gives them second-chance opportunities to keep the scoreboard ticking. Neither team has shown much grit on the defensive end lately, so I'm expecting plenty of buckets. As for the winner, the Knicks are clearly the better team, but their recent inconsistency makes it hard to lay the points. Meanwhile, Toronto's got a little extra motivation with RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley now suiting up for the Raptors after their time in New York. That revenge factor could make this one a bit more competitive than expected. If nothing else, it should be an entertaining watch with plenty of fireworks. The fourth prediction for today is for a game between the Los Angeles Clippers and Denver Nuggets. The Clippers are rolling into Denver for what promises to be a high-stakes showdown against the Nuggets. These two squads have split their previous matchups this season, with Denver blowing out the Clippers by 22 points back in December and LA taking the earlier game. With both teams having plenty to prove, this one's shaping up to be a nail-biter. LA is fresh off a tight loss to the Timberwolves, where Anthony Edwards decided to turn into Steph Curry down the stretch, raining threes and shutting the door on a Clippers comeback. Kawhi Leonard made his long-awaited return in that game, but let's be real, he's still working the rust off. Adding Kawhi back into the mix definitely shifts the dynamic for LA. They've been a fantastic ATS squad all season, thriving in that underdog role, but now the spreads are tightening and the pressure is cranking up. It'll be interesting to see how they adjust. Norman Powell has been a straight-up bucket for the Clippers, averaging over 23 points a game and shouldering the scoring load with Kawhi out. Then there's James Harden, the veteran floor general who still has plenty of juice left in the tank, dishing out dimes and dropping over 20 points a night. Ivica Zubac has been a monster on the boards, giving them solid paint presence. But let's not sugarcoat it, the Clippers' offense has been shaky. Ranking near the bottom of the league in offensive efficiency, they're leaning heavily on their defense, which, to their credit, has been top tier. On the other side, Denver's got their own set of challenges. The Nuggets are coming off a tough loss to the Celtics, and they're back on the court for a second game in as many nights. But here's the thing about Denver, they've been absolute warriors in back-to-backs, winning all 7 of those scenarios this season. That's not a fluke, that's grit. And, of course, we've got to talk about Nikola Jokic. The guy is an MVP candidate yet again, putting up video game numbers, 31 points, 13 boards, and almost 10 assists per game. He's the heart and soul of the squad, but the Nuggets' reliance on him is a double-edged sword. Without Jokic on the floor, the offense stalls, and the defense isn't exactly airtight. Michael Porter Jr. has stepped up lately, which they'll need more of, but Jamal Murray's inconsistency is still holding them back. Now, about that home court advantage, Denver's been tough to beat at Ball Arena, and history is on their side, with the home team taking 6 of the last 8 matchups in the series. The Clippers, meanwhile, haven't been road warriors this season, sporting a SOSO record away from home. So, here's the deal, I don't love the Clippers as road favorites in the spot. Sure, they've got the rest advantage and Kawhi's back, but Denver's resilience in these back-to-back situations, especially with Joker leading the charge, makes them hard to bet against. And while there's chatter about Jokic potentially not being at 100%, hey, Serbian Christmas celebrations can get wild, I'm not buying into that affecting him enough to swing the game. I'm riding with the Nuggets to cover that +3 spread. Keep a sharp eye on the injury report, because if anything changes with Jokic or key players, it could shake things up. But as it stands, I think Denver shows up, keeps it close, and maybe even steals the win outright. This one's going to be a fun one to watch. The fifth prediction for today is for a game between the San Antonio Spurs and Milwaukee Bucks. This showdown between the Bucks and Spurs has me hyped. Milwaukee rolls into this one with a 19-16 record, fresh off a blowout win against the Raptors, 128-104. It was a big W for them, but let's not ignore the elephant in the room. They've been shaky at home. 3 straight losses as favorites at Pfizer Forum? That's not what you expect from a team led by Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's still putting up MVP-caliber numbers with 31.6 points, 11.6 boards, and 6.1 dimes per game. But something's off with the squad. They're not clicking the way they should, especially when it matters most. On the other side, you've got the Spurs, sitting at 18-18 and looking to bounce back after getting smacked by the Bulls, 141-110. Yeah, that loss stung, but don't sleep on this team. Victor Wembanyama is out here playing like he's got something to prove every night. The kid's averaging 25.6 points and 10.8 rebounds, and his shot blocking is just ridiculous. He's not just living up to the hype, he's redefining what it means to be a game changer. And let's be real, his presence alone makes San Antonio a tough out. What I love about these Spurs is their grit. They don't care about being underdogs, they're out here scrapping every game. They've covered the spread in 8 of their last 10 matchups, and even though their 6-10 road record isn't flashy, they're not afraid to bring the fight. Plus, this isn't a one-man show. Wembanyama's got help, and the Spurs' balanced scoring attack makes them unpredictable. They're young, they're hungry, and they're fearless. For the Bucks, this game is all about regaining their swagger. Damian Lillard needs to start heating up from downtown, and guys like Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez have to shoulder some of the load, especially if Chris Middleton isn't at 100%. Milwaukee's defense has to step it up too, because if they let the Spurs get comfortable, this game could slip away fast. If you're asking me, I think the Spurs have a solid shot at covering the 6-point spread. They've been playing with a lot of heart lately, and Milwaukee's home struggles make this one feel closer than it should. I'm also leaning toward this being a defensive battle, so don't be shocked if the total score stays under 224.5 points. At the end of the day, I think the Bucks will squeak out a win, but not without a fight. Wembanyama is primed to put on another show, and this young Spurs team isn't backing down from anyone. Whether you're rooting for the seasoned Bucks or the rising Spurs, this game is going to be a fun ride.